In this video, I will be discussing my experience at the Bill Burr show that took place this past weekend in New Jersey. He had an event at the Prudential Center. He is on tour right now. He came to town, so I decided, hey, I'm going to go see this man. Not only that, but I ended up going with a longtime friend of mine who I actually have never met in person. Any of you gamers out there know that, a lot of great relationships are built over, Xbox Live party chats, you know what I mean? So I've known this man over 10 years. We go way back, and we've spoken damn near almost every day for the past decade or so. And we finally met up at the Bill Burr event. So that was awesome. But outside of that, as soon as you get there, we had to put our phones in these bags. They had these, I think it's called Yonder bags. To which then I looked up how to break into a Yonder bag, like after the event, just for next time maybe, who knows. But nobody knew the time. I had to look around for people with a watch, just looking at people's wrists. Hey, what time is it? Blah, blah, blah. So that was interesting. I understand Bill doesn't want his show recorded and his set to be leaked and things like that. I get that totally. Makes sense. So after that, I go. Immediately, I will say this. I'm not the biggest live event person. This year, I've been to the UFC at the Prudential Center. UFC 288 it was, I believe. Yeah, UFC 288 or 287, whichever was the one at the Prudential Center with Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo. Okay, that one I went to, and it was great. I enjoyed the night. It was fun. But I'm not really a live event person. Been to 2 this year so far. I'm more of an in-your-house guy. I'm more of I got chicken fingers and french fries in the refrigerator. I'll just throw them in the air fryer for free, and I don't have to wait online. I don't have to wait online at the bathroom. I don't have to deal with this guy behind me booing a fighter, let's say, or at a comedy show. A comedy show wasn't too bad. Like, you don't really run into that. Sporting events and the comedy shows completely different pretty much. So, like, it's different. Like, it was a better fan experience, I think, being at a comedy show, because you're not hearing the grab his dick and twist it behind you, which is what you do hear at UFC events, or you do hear stand them up, or you do hear a bunch of stuff at a UFC event that you don't at a comedy event. So kind of completely 2 different crowds. However, the energy at a UFC event, I will say, is palpable. You feel it. Now, with that said, I paid $20. Not 20, maybe like $16.70. Damn near 20. I like to round up. Damn near $20 for a 5-piece chicken tender with fries. And it was okay. It wasn't the best chicken tenders I ever had. You know what I mean? It better be the damn near best chicken tenders I had for that much money. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot. Anyways, paid for that. A water, just one water bottle was $5, which is absolutely, utterly ridiculous. A beer, I don't drink, but for those of you who do, one beer was $20, bro. That's like, come on. You know? If you want to get tipsy, if you want to get a little drunk, you're spending like $60, 60, 80, 120, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're spending bread. Not for me. Not my thing. So I go, get in the seats. I get there before my friend gets there. He gets there right as the show is starting. Good enough. And I was there a bit early. I'd rather be early than late kind of a guy. So I'm there in my seats, chilling, eating my meal. Get done with the meal. The first guy goes up on stage. He did all right. I forget their names. I forget the first 2 people's names. He comes up. He had a little thing where he was like, "Oh, laugh!" Like he said it was a great crowd overall, but there was, I guess, people in the front that weren't laughing, and he was like distracted on them and doing a lot of crowd work on them and things like that. So He was, that was okay. He was alright. He did about maybe 8 minutes, I think. Then the next guy comes up. He does about the same, another 8 minutes, right? He was okay too. And then I think they're going to bring on Bill Burr, right? He gives this big introduction. He goes, and now it is my absolute pleasure to bring out the heavyweight king of comedy. And he starts saying all these things to where I don't think you can't say them about Bill Burr. I just don't see Bill Burr as the kind of guy that would want that introduction, you know? Bill Burr seems like a very low-key guy from his podcast and other appearances he's been on. He seems like a more low-key, reserved kind of a guy. So I was like, he's introducing Bill Burr like this? What? And then all of a sudden you hear, please welcome to the stage, Andrew Dice Clay. And when I tell you, me and my friend we love comedy. We enjoy stand-up comedy, things like that. And for me, Andrew Dice Clay was actually one of the first people that I had looked up when I was looking up stand-up comedy years and years ago. And, it was just crazy. I was like, what the... It was like one of those moments for anybody who could relate to this. It was like watching a Royal Rumble where you have no clue that this person's gonna come out and make their return, and then all of a sudden they made their return, you know what I mean? And the crowd pops. Me and my friend popped, the whole arena popped, and it was great. And he did new material. He didn't just do the old hickory dickory dock, you know what I mean? He did that at the end, which was awesome. It was cool, like that he played the hits. I wish he would have done the one where he goes, little boy blue. He needed the money. You know, that's the one I wanted to hear him do. He didn't do that one, but fair enough. His new material was great. He made me laugh more than anybody there. And then Bill Burr comes out. Bill Burr comes out, does his set, and Bill Burr was good. He was. For me, Andrew Dice Clay stole the show. However, for me, if you go to the Prudential Center, this is for anybody that goes to the Prudential Center. If you go and you're a tall man, I'm 6'3", okay? If you're a tall man and you're sitting in these seats, the seats are terrible, bro. I'm going to tell you this. The seats need renovation. The Prudential Center needs renovation. Because when you go there and you sit down, you don't have much space. Okay, you could sort of, spread your legs out and do your thing, but you don't have much space. My friend got there a little bit on the bigger side. I joked with him that these seats were a wake up call. Me and him both got to get back into the gym. But anyways, and it was tough. All of a sudden, I'm cramped in on one side. Thankfully, the person to my left was a no-show, so I had that side. I was also wearing foam posits, and foam posits are super uncomfortable, man. Super uncomfortable. If you haven't broken them in yet, and I haven't broken them in yet. I only wear them every once in a while. Anyways, so my feet were hurting, and my knees started to hurt because of the way the seats are. Like it's really uncomfortable seating, and it's just one of those things that, for me, having been there, had I gotten there, right when Bill Burr started the show, for himself, right when Bill Burr went on stage, rather, I would have been comfortable throughout his set, and it would have been fine. But about halfway through Bill's set, again, because I got there early and I had already fucking been there for so long, halfway through Bill's set, I started getting really uncomfortable, and I was moving around trying to adjust my position and all things like that. So it was just one of those things where the comfort started to affect me. The comfort that I would not be dealing, or discomfort rather, the discomfort that I would not be dealing with had I been in at my house, for example. started to affect the show. And there was even one point where he goes, all right, I got 10 minutes left to tell the story or whatever. I was actually like happy. Like I wanted it to end, which kind of sucks because I didn't get to like really enjoy like Bill Burr. You know what I'm saying? That's Bill motherfucking Burr. One of the greatest comedians of all time. One of the most well-known comedians of all time. One of the, biggest podcasts in the world, etc., etc., you know? But again, the seating was so bad, bro. Like, it was just uncomfortable, period. And he wraps up, gets it done, and that was it. That was the night. It was a really good show. I'm not gonna go into like what he talked about or anything like that. But it was fun. It was a fun night. Overall, great night. Got to meet a longtime friend who was, who I've known forever, and got to see Andrew Dice Clay. That was the highlight of the night. Seeing an unexpected legend show up. I mean, Andrew Dice Clay. For any of you guys that know about comedy, Andrew Dice Clay is a legend, bro. Like, this guy used to sell out Madison Square Garden. Anywhere he went, like, any way you want to do it, he would sell it out. Like, he was probably the most famous comedian in the world at that time, when he was red hot. And to see him up on stage, leather jacket and all that, it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was a great night. Overall, I think I'm still a at-home kind of a guy, but, getting out there more, going to these live events, it is what it is. Hopefully, I'm going to be at the SmackDown in Madison Square Garden. That's coming up in like 2 weeks. I'm going to be there to see how that is. Hopefully, the seats at Madison Square Garden are better than the seats at the Prudential Center. Hopefully, because I don't know how I'm going to fucking sit through a long wrestling event as opposed to just maybe 2 hours of stand-up comedy, you get me? So, anyways, that's pretty much it. That's my experience. And, yeah, if you've ever been to the Prudential Center, let me know if you had the same experience, man. I really think they need to renovate or do something because, man, it was uncomfortable. Anyways, thanks for watching.